Hello, folks. This is Torrey Vent. I wrote this song 2nd of April up in the mall while I was walking. It's entitled Sagt mir wo die Dierusskiys sind. Means where have the Russians gone, or tell me where they're gone. And promise this will be my last war song for a while. This one is intended mostly for Russian consumption because over the past 2 centuries, the Russians haven't done very well when they've gone to war. They've always suffered heavy casualties. In World War One, they lost 1 million fighting Germany. In World War Two, they lost upwards of 20 million people. And I think it's time maybe the Russians should stop going to war because they just don't seem to be very good at it. The people have had about 10 years of freedom after communism. Then they elected a sociopath as president for life, and he's causing a lot of problems. He's caused the Ukraine war. He's a serial killer, murderer, multiple personality disorders. Russian people have lost a lot of the best and the brightest in combat over the centuries, and sometimes leaving just the weaklings to reproduce and perpetuate the Russian race. Their dictator, or Russian Pope, I call him, Putin, by Russian standards, he's very old for a man. He's 70, and this is in a country where the men start dying off in their 50s. So let's see if we. Okay, gotta figure out which. Try it in B flat here. Tell me where the Russians are. Sag mir wo die Dierusskiys sind. Long time passing. Sag mir wo die Dierusskiys sind. It is a shame. Sag mir wo die Dierusskiys sind. Seit dem letzten Krieg beginnt. When will you ever learn? When will you ever learn? Fought Napoleon 2 centuries ago. Long time passing. Fought Napoleon 2 centuries ago. It was a shame. Fought Napoleon 2 centuries ago. Drove them out with rushy snow. When will you ever learn? When will you ever learn? Crimean War, 1854. Long time passing. Crimean War, 1854. It was a shame. Crimean War, 1854. 500 Cossacks and thousands more. When will you ever learn? When will you ever learn? Fought the Germans in World War One. Long time passing. Fought the Germans in World War One. It was a shame. Fought the Germans in World War One. 1 million soldiers and 1 million guns. When will you ever learn? When will you ever learn? Marched into Ukraine intact. Long time passing. Drove into Ukraine intact. It was a shame. Raced into Ukraine intact. Going home now in body sacks. When will you ever learn? When will they ever learn? Naval Battle 2022. long time passes. Naval Battle 2022, it is a shame. Naval Battle 2022, lost to a country new with ships nor crew. When will you ever learn? When will you ever learn? In military aviation combat, if an aircraft is damaged and has to abort its mission and fly back to base, no longer able to carry on, it's been shot down. And that just happened recently when the Russian Air Force encountered one of our surveillance drones. S-27 Yak fighter shot down. Long time passing. S-27 Yak fighter shot down. It was a shame. S-27 Yak fighter shot down. A propeller strike by an unarmed drone. When will they ever learn? When will they understand? Where have all the Russians gone? Long time passes. Where have all the Russians gone? It is a shame. Where have all the Russians gone? Gone to graveyards, everyone. When will they understand? When will they understand? This one's patterned after a war protest song that was quite popular back in the 60s. Tell Me Where the Flowers Are was, I guess, the way it was titled by a popular rock pop singing group. I think it was Peter, Paul, and Mary. Thank you for listening, and I hope you Russians understand that it's best that you not get into wars, because you're losing your best and your brightest, and you're breaking your country, and you're just causing a lot of grief to you and other countries around you when you start wars. You had it made. You had the biggest country in the world, and your narcissistic president tried to bite off another chunk of another country, and an impossible task. Ukrainians don't get whipped very often. They have a military history going back over 500 years, and they're smart too. You want a good education, learn to speak Ukrainian, then go to your Ukrainian university, and you'll find out how smart you can be too. Okay, well, thank you for listening. Hello there back in Russia.